Women leaders play a very large role in shaping SVSU because we lead with compassion. We lead with understanding, and we lead from a place of giving.
Leadership is about how do you lift others up into a space where they feel like they can accomplish whatever they've identified as their own individual goals.
What makes me feel confident and powerful in my leadership role is that I know what my purpose is. I know that I'm here to help students and to help people and advocate for people.
All our students have to know that they can grow here, that they need to step up to the plate.
What inspired me to step into a leadership position here at SVSU was how I grew up. My parents kind of always taught me to, go for what you want. The sky is the limit, and they taught me to always speak my mind.
Going out of your way to make a difference without being afraid of consequences. There's a lot of professional staff at campus I think represent this as well.
What makes me feel powerful and confident as a leader is that I have a great passion for what I do. I've always believed that you can only be effective when you have a passion for what you're doing. It means you care not just about what you're doing, but how what you do impacts those that you serve. And to me, that gives one confidence when you know what you're teaching or how you're leading is making it easier for those that you are serving.
Women leaders are an exceptional icon to SVSU. A lot of women don't get enough credit for their power, their strength, their courage, their confidence. They showcase so many different ideas and opportunities, not only for staff and faculty, but our students that are on campus. A lot of our students that we have here are first timers. They've never went away to college, or they're coming from, out of country. We as women are there to support and encourage and cheer on other women and allow them to express themselves and to take any type of leadership role that they inspire to take.
I feel most confident as a leader when I know that I'm knowledgeable about what I'm having to work with or decide. When I feel like I've got good data to go on, even if I don't necessarily like all the data, it makes me feel more comfortable thinking that I've got the knowledge I need to make decisions or do the work that I need to do.
What makes me feel confident and powerful as a leader is giving people a voice who may not necessarily have a voice. They don't have the platform or the opportunity to speak up for themselves. When I'm able to do that or make positive change in someone's work life or regular life, that's what gives me the confidence and helps me to go on and continue my work.
In order to be a good military leader, you have to know your people. If you don't know what drives them, if you don't know what motivates them, you can't impact their lives. And so that might seem intrusive, and in the military we have this thing called intrusive leadership, and that's the approach that I take. And so when the students come in, I ask them, what's going on? What do you want to do? What's happening in the classroom? What's happening at home? How are you feeling? And it's not necessarily just me, it's a culture that the office has created. It's a military culture. So it's really helped me lead them into the right path that they're trying to take, because they don't know what they don't know, and we're trying to guide them into what's going to make them the most successful.
Yeah, I think women leaders play a really big role in shaping the future of SVSU and frankly the future of our world. We're more than half the population, and I think it's important that when we're in positions of leadership that the way we see the world is reflected in those institutions. For a long time that they were not reflected, but now we're getting to a point where we are seeing more women involved, particularly here at SVSU. That matters because it's not just women issues that women think about, but it's important that those women issues are not forgotten. So being able to have women on the board and have women in leadership who think about the struggles that are specific to women students or female students is very important, because then we can provide better resources to those students.
So imposter syndrome. I struggle with that quite often. I work at a university for 32 years and I don't have a higher degree. I started here when I was young, like 21, and had my first child, and then I had a second child, and then time seemed to slip away. And I was encouraged by many people, many supervisors, to go and get my degree, but the time just never seemed right. But you're tempted to push those feelings down and ignore them when you feel inadequate or the imposter syndrome. Think about it and try not to push those feelings down and try to embrace them, because as long as you're doing something with integrity and from the good place in your heart, you're going to be okay, and people appreciate genuineness.
I think everyone experiences self-doubt and imposter syndrome, and in fact, I think if you don't experience it, there's probably something wrong with you.
I have never had a moment of self-doubt or imposter syndrome. I have perhaps had moments where I pause to think. And I think that's always a great life skill, to have the ability to pause and think before responding or speaking. The pause gives you time to formulate your thoughts, to breathe, and to relax.
When I feel imposter syndrome creeping in, I tend to reflect on the past challenges that I've overcome. Oftentimes it sounds silly, but I'll be like, girl, you've been to Iraq and Afghanistan, like get to it, you can do this. This is like simple compared to that. But also really trying to think about reframing my thoughts and really focusing on growth and not perfection.
I think that once we get to the place where we are able to see all of the things that we've done, there's no room for self-doubt at that point. This whole idea that you don't deserve to be in your space, you were chosen to be where you are. So just by the very nature of that, you deserve to be in that space. So this whole idea of imposter syndrome, I think is something that is a kind of this universal phenomenon, so something that's affecting women simply across the board, across the nation. What we have to do is to remind ourselves, and not only remind ourselves, but remind other women when you see them doing awesome things. That was beautiful. I am impressed by what you just did right there. So whenever we have the opportunity to do that for other women, it negates that whole self-imposter syndrome.
Self-doubt and imposter syndrome does creep in from time to time. The way to deal with that is to understand where you come from, what your purpose is, and where you're trying to go. Releasing those things and understanding that this is a process. Nothing's going to happen overnight, and you just have to keep going and believe in yourself, even when you can't see the other side of the fence.
The advice I'd give to women who aspire to be leaders in their field would be to recognize their abilities, embrace their abilities, take challenges, take calculated risks, stay the course, seek a mentor, whether it's in your civilian capacity or in your military capacity, because there are people that want to help you be successful.
When you can find your purpose, it will help you feel confident in how you help others and how you can navigate your way up the ladder or towards your goals.
I think the strongest advice that we can give to young women who are aspiring to be leaders in their field is to use their voice. There's going to be a lot of times, no matter whether you're in public service or in the private sector, where people will try and silence you, but I never regret leaving it all on the table and sharing what my opinion is. I usually regret it more if I stay silent, so I would just encourage you to use your voice even when it's hard.
Help each other. If you see somebody needs help doing something, hey, can I help you? I want to see people succeed. And to help people succeed, you have to be willing to give your time. And I do, hopefully that's what people see in me, that I want people to succeed. I want to talk to them. I want to help them.
Surround yourself with people that are also excited about leadership. Take advantage of opportunities, especially with volunteering, because there's a lot of ways to become a leader in that realm.
Women often feel like they have to shrink themselves to fit other people's ideals of what makes a woman or how they should act or how they should be. And I'm here to tell you, be brave, be yourself, authentically.
I would say this is your year to fully embrace exactly who you are. When you are authentic, people respect and appreciate authenticity. I also think that integrity is very important for leaders. Always be mindful of the decisions you make, the words that you use, the way you handle people. All of those things lead to your character and the integrity that you have as a leader. Be who you are. The world needs you exactly as you are. And know that you can make a difference.